YouTube channel. I'm here with my co-host, Candy Nelson. Tonight I got it right with my calling here, my little call. So, hi, Candy. How are you?
I sorry, I'm yawning a lot tonight, guys. So y'all just bear with me. I've had a rough couple weeks.
Right there with you for sure. It's been both of us been very, very busy, and you name it, life gets us. So with that said, everything else going okay? Are you doing well, or I haven't talked to you all week, so.
Symptoms have been great. I feel like so amazing. It's just like insane. I cannot believe I'm like where I am.
I'm so happy.
As far as my skin issues, I'm like, oh, thank you, God. Suffered for so long.
Yeah, too long. I'm glad to hear that. That makes me happy hearing stuff like that. We need to hear happy moments and happy thoughts and the blessings that come through the storm. So I'm glad. I'm so happy. And if anyone is deserving, it would be you. I couldn't think of a better person. So with that said, we were talking a lot earlier, you and I, about some concepts of, things I've been suffering from with, I guess, the move and the fibers and the dust and how it's affecting my body along with stress. And I think the stress unit of that especially gets to us. I don't know if anyone else has noticed this, and I asked Candy about this earlier, but when you are stressed out, do you all notice that you will break out more or have more bothersome symptoms? And also, do you all notice that in the springtime, in particularly, like me, in the springtime, do you have your symptoms like have some freaky stuff going on? I know, Candy, you said you did not in particularly, but I can't be the only one that notices in the spring. It's like clockwork. It's like certain times a year you're gonna have certain things happen with your body with Morgellons that don't typically show up in other elements of life. Did you ever have anything like that? Like just certain times a year with certain things, or?
Well, I know, like in the springtime, all the flowers start coming. There's pollen in the air, and
Hi,
depending
well,
on the spraying and whatever
yeah.
else is going on. But my worst times was always in the summer when it's hot and you start sweating and your body starts sweating that stuff out, and then it's just like all of a sudden you're just itching and miserable all over. But
Yeah, you betcha.
Summer's always the worst for me.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. So Wild Man is here. Wow. I sounded
Hey,
like
Mom.
an adolescent. I 2 years old.
Hey, girls.
So Wild Man is here with us, and Wild Man has been really super sweet, offering some really cool concepts and ideas. You let me know about the ironclad formation over Texas the other. He was not lying. It was crazy. So it's nice to see you. I got lucky and caught your show. You did. You're the first one here. So bam, you're welcome.
We're late as usual.
Yeah. So Trish Munoz is here. I love you, Trish. I miss you. Yep, she says Stramps. Holy wow, I'm talking in cursive. So Stramps stress everyone. Okay, so that was cursive talking. Stress amps everything up like nothing else. And she says, yep, I broke down and took this is me, Flonase spray because it was so bad. Yeah, me too, Trish. Me too. I did too. So Candy, what would you like to say in regards to, or what would you have to offer? Because I know you have lots of great things to offer, like with the itching and the nose and the nasal problems. And I have one nostril that's just like way more swelled than the other all the time, especially certain times of year. So apparently I'm a snorer now. My daughter lets me know. So yeah, I snore. You're welcome.
Well, I don't know. Like I told you, my go-to for my nose is the peppermint oil, and I just shove it right up in there. And it just like after that, your nose starts running, and you can blow it, and it's like all that stuff comes out. It's like, yeah, I love that peppermint oil, man. There's just
I think I said last week like how I live with the peppermint oil, but that oregano soap that you gave me or was telling you earlier, that stuff has been amazing. like wet or dry, or in the shower or out of the shower. And that stuff has been amazing. Like super, super amazing. And Candy, I'm gonna have to ask that you help me read these little comments tonight because I can't see. My eyes are really badly affected, and it's probably from the move and from working and everything else. But I can't see it very well, even with my glasses.
Okay, well, Wildman says, I was watching the news and you guys came on. And then Trish says, Wildman, I would choose them over the news every day. Haha, good choice.
Thank you. That actually that makes me feel good, and all of us.
We're the news from the weird.
Our story because it's truth and it's real, and
You hear me?
it's high.
Do you hear me? We're the news from the weird.
Yeah, there you go. Hello and welcome to the Weird News for fellow weirdos. We're here to offer you guys tonight some more weirdness along with our weirdos. So, thank you though. We are strange, we're weird, and we're loud, we're proud, and we're real. We're real news, not fake.
Funny.
Right? So, there was a plant, and in particular plant you were telling me about earlier, and something that you're trying out. I would like to hear more about that. I'm sure they would also.
Something I'm trying out or something I made.
You're gonna make or you did make, right?
I just made the ones I sent you the picture of.
That's right. That too. And I was thinking about the leaves that were okay. Let's go with the ones you just made though, because that was actually a pretty awesome concept.
Well, the salve I just made is called Beautyberry salve, and so I seen on the computer where they were talking about Beautyberry spray, that you actually make a spray and you can spray it on you, and it's an insect repellent. And I was like, oh,
Phenomenal.
I'm good at making salves, okay? So I was like, well, I wonder if I make a salve if it would work the same. So I made some salve, and picked some berries and I picked some leaves, and I took the leaves and made the salve. Took the berries to my friend. She made jelly. And so when she made the jelly,
That's
she gave me some
awesome.
jelly and I gave her some salve. Well, her brother asked her, he picks it up. They're both grown, in their 50s. And he's like, what is this? She's like, it's insect repellent. So she didn't know it, but he stole it.
So it's good stuff, in other words.
So, well, he took it and I guess he went hunting or something and he used it and he calls her. He's like, what is that stuff and where'd you get it from? She's like, oh, my friend Candy made it. And she said, it's insect repellent. He's like, man, that stuff is amazing. He's like, I need a gallon of it.
So anyway, that picture you showed me earlier, is that, I'm going to share that too, by the way, but is that the same stuff that you made today?
It's the same stuff, but this second batch that I made is actually more potent than the first batch because the first batch didn't turn out green, okay? This stuff's green. And so I actually took some of the green stuff and I put it on my skin, and I took a white shirt and I rubbed it just to see if it was going to turn the shirt green, and it did not.
Oh, wow.
So I'm
That's
like,
even better because everything I make stains, and it's not even for the good. It's not for the greater good. It just stains for you. So hold on.
I think the coconut oil and the beeswax kind of dilutes it down.
Right.
It gives the appearance of green, but it's like it didn't stain anything.
It didn't?
No.
Okay, I'm going to try really hard here to share this. Let me see.
And it didn't stain my skin either. So I was like trying to get my consistency right last night. Well, I've been working on it for about a week and a half, 2 weeks now, but so was trying to get the consistency right, and I had got some on my hands, and I just kind of rubbed it on my skin last night before I took the dog out to go to the bathroom, and I'm like, I just rubbed it on one arm.
Wow.
No bugs got on that arm, but the other arm, yeah, I
want some of that. So this is the salve here. I don't know how big it's showing up on the screen there.
It's really small, but you can see like in the center of the tins, the little circle things.
Let me see if I can make it bigger here. Is it getting bigger on your end?
It's getting bigger.
It's getting bigger, guys.
Yeah.
We're getting some progress there. Oh, I'm
But if
figuring it out as I go.
yeah, if you look at
Sorry.
the salve after it's poured in there and it's curing because I poured it in there wet, but you can see like the top of them where the honeycomb from the beeswax starts to try to reform itself. That
Like
is
on
so
this one?
weird. Yeah, go up a little bit, move it up a little. Nope, yeah, that way. So you can see like
Oh,
the
look at
circles in
that.
there. You see where it tries to like,
Yeah, that is weird. It's like a memory in the wax.
yeah,
Wax memory. It's like that's really crazy.
yeah, that's from the beeswax that does that.
Look at that, guys. You got the hexagonal formations going in there like you would have in your honeycombs or
Yeah.
anything else. And that's you melted it first and poured it in.
Yes.
Okay, there's something to this, guys. I mean, I don't care if it's frequencies or whatever, or just like, you know how your hair will only part to like one certain side, or when you get out of the shower, it just usually falls into whatever place it wants. It's almost like a memory like that, but this is pretty intricate. I mean, look at that.
You
These
can
are
really
like
see it on the one over to the right. Yeah, that big one right there. Right
that
there.
one. Yeah, that's like the hive mind they speak of, but like on wax. I mean,
Isn't that
guys,
weird?
really, like if you melted this down and obviously in a liquid form and poured it into these containers, you can even see here all of the hexagonal shapes that are going back into the hive like that it originally came from. That I'm sorry, I know this is a complete different topic. I mean, to me, Morgellons is just a small part of the picture. This is like pretty amazing stuff right here, and another piece of the puzzle that we got to figure out because how can your beeswax have memory? Anyone? Anyone? Like, if you got a comment for that, please, because there is obviously memory in the wax. Because I mean, and it's laid out exactly the same, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's all like scattered exactly as it would be. You kind of see it here on these, and of course there, but like all you did was melt it, pour it in, and already the mixture with whatever you mixed it with is most certainly already there as well, correct?
Yeah. Yep.
It was
Like I
all
said,
like one solid liquid. This is nuts. There's definitely something to that. And these are metal canisters, correct?
yes.
So I wonder if that has something to do with it or frequency
No,
electromagnetic.
no,
Do these have
because
magnets on the bottom?
it does it with the no. There's no
No.
magnets on the bottom of those.
It
It
does
does
it with
mason
anything?
jars. It does it with the mason jars as well.
Okay,
It'll
that's definitely memory, like hive mind wax
yeah.
there. That's crazy. And I don't think they call it the hive mind for no reason either, because if you, this obviously falls back on the original memory there, or whatever it's supposed to be as far as the hive goes. So when they talk about hive minds, doesn't it make you wonder if the minds are being shaped and molded the same? I mean, if that's what they're in fact not inferring, that's just. I mean, this right here to me, like I could go on and on all night about this. I wish I'd have known about this before we even came on here. This is something extremely interesting. Like there's something
And it does that with all the salves. Whether I use
no
essential
matter
oil,
what you pour it on,
it doesn't matter. It does it with all the salves.
which means it's most certainly in the beeswax itself.
Correct.
And
Correct.
then obviously just falling back into the same structure. So it's not necessarily the insects that form the honeycombs. First, it doesn't seem like anyway. It seems like it's kind of like the living word of which I have always said is in your DNA. It's almost like that is in their DNA, and it reforms to exactly what it was meant to be in its true and solid structure, which is really strange. Like this is, it's not part of the insect itself, but it's part of what the insect makes, and that is, there's something to be like probably looked into much deeper here. And I'll leave it at that. But I'm definitely going to be diving and delving later. So that's crazy. Wow. All right. So, all right, guys, I went off on a little bit of a tangent there. That though, there's something to that, guys.
I think
This is
that's the coolest thing to look in those tins and see that like honeycomb
yeah.
structure.
Well, on top of cool, like it's very significant. Like there is a reason that that is happening. If you can put something in a hot pot, come to a boil, and to melting level and point, and pour it back into, like you said, a mason jar or those metal tins or whatever you did, and it still come back to that structural hexagon or hexagonal, whatever you want to call it. I call it hexagonal. But when it goes back to that like height that it originated from, there's something really, really big and deep to be said for that. And I think that obviously would apply to all biological individuals and beings that are living, and it makes you wonder about our excrements or our even our sweat, like anything bodily related. There's got to be something to that, and it's got to be a frequency also, because that's the only way to explain that. That's got to be a frequency. That's just crazy. I mean, I'm mind blown right now. I'm sorry, but like I said, I really I find myself fascinated with this stuff. But this right here kind of goes back to some other ideas and concepts, what I'll let you guys know about later on. But something I've already been kind of studying on, and I actually started a video on it. And this right here, like, just kind of goes hand in hand, and like, along with our star forts and things like that. But it's just too hard to explain right now, so I'm not going to try yet. But I do have a video that I'm trying with that. So, but wow, that's amazing. So, how would you apply this, or what all do you what all uses would you say? Because I could tell you right now that work with my hair, on my eyeballs, on my ears, on my body, on my feet, anything. But how would you recommend doing that? Because I mean, that looks, top of that, I'm just like the structure. I'm just mind blown right now. I'm sorry. I'm gonna let you like talk right now because I gotta like indulge on what I'm trying to. I gotta chew on this for a minute.
Well, like I said, basically, it's an insect repellent. And when I first learned about it, and like I said, they were making tinctures, and I was like, okay, well, I'm not real good with that. I know I can make a salve though, and so I decided to try the salve, which worked out great. And so I was like, okay, well, if I can do that, take leaves and make a salve with it, I can do it with any leaf.
Right.
So I've done it with a plantain leaf before, which the plantain is good for like burns and rashes and minor cuts and things like that. And that plantain salve that I made was the first ones I ever made. And it helped with my leg when my leg was so bad off. And
Right.
that's the first one I made. And then after I made that, I was like, well, if I can use the leaves to do that, I can do it with essential oil. So then I started
That
making
was really smart. That was
and
impressive.
yeah. So I mean, I learned, and it's like, okay, well, if I can do it with a weed, I can do it with essential oils. So
That was a really impressive invention right there.
and so my
So
next endeavor is hopefully I can like I was telling Lisa, there's no way I could actually forage enough of the gel out of cattail leaves to make a pain relieving cream. But if I get enough leaves, then maybe I can like steep them in some coconut oil and
okay.
make a pain relieving salve. I don't know if it'll work or not. I don't even know half the stuff I even do works. I just do
That
it.
right there is just whatever you're doing is doing something right because it works. So that's an
Well,
incredible concept.
well, when I made the beauty berry salve, I wasn't even sure if it was going to work at all. And like I said, this guy stole what I made for his sister. He stole it and he used it. He's like, "Oh, that stuff was amazing. It worked on
That's
the
got to
burns."
tell you something.
So
That means
he was like, "Okay." He's like, "I need a gallon of it." He wanted a gallon.
it's
So yeah, I've been like steeping leaves now forever and cleaning and straining and remelting, and I'm like, holy smolies, man! I'm like about weeded out around here. And
I,
I don't know if you saw the thing on my Facebook.
weed it out.
Well, it was funny because there was this thing where the cops found this bag of pot and fentanyl, and there was needles in there, and there was marijuana, and there was like $750 cash. They found it at like the Family Dollar. Somebody
Are
just
you
left it
serious?
there. Yeah.
What?
So they were
Wow.
saying, that they wanted to find the rightful owner, whoever this belonged to. They left it at the Family Dollar. I was like, so, they did a funny about it. And so I had like with the bag of weeds, and I was like, so I shared that picture, and my picture with me holding the bag of weeds. I was like, your bag of weed and my bag of weeds is not the same.
It's not the same. One is different like the other, but they're not the same. That's awesome.
Anyway, a lot of my friends got a good laugh out of that one because I was like, yeah,
I
that was
bet.
funny right there. I don't care who you are.
That is pretty funny. Your bag of weed is not like mine, so
It's not the same weed.
so sorry. We just go around carrying bags of weed, guys. Not that kind of weed though. So
Oh,
I was kind of not gonna lie, I was kind of gendering and looking at cellular memory and like the beehives and whatnot. And it does look like, that it does live in the cellular levels of biological entities and creatures and all living things. But I mean, that right there, though, was impressive because if you were to slice me up and boil me in a pot of water, I guarantee you I'm not going to come out looking like me again. I'm probably going to have my feathers on my head, my nose on my butt, I mean, my elbow in my front. And so, but that's incredible.
well, I got
And
something.
the weed was incredible too.
I got something I want to bring up. You're talking about reconstituting things naturally, right?
Hmm.
So I don't know if anybody else has ever noticed this, but years ago when we had to do background checks to get custody of my grandbaby, we had to do go get our fingerprints. Well, I don't have any damn fingerprints.
Yeah, none of us do.
Gone. And
Yeah,
so
mine are too.
I was thinking about it. I'm like, they could not get my fingerprints. And I'm like, so I put the scope on my tips of my fingers. I'm like, my fingerprints are like, I have no fingerprints. So now, because our DNA is being altered and changed, that's why they want all of our DNA.
Yeah,
So if
that's
they
right.
get,
Ancestry.com. Do not do it.
yeah, but here's the thing. Even if they get your DNA, because our DNA is being altered, is that truly a actual valid record of your DNA because it's been
No.
altered? So
And that
it's
goes back way back anyway. But yeah, altered. You're right. There's nothing. There's not. The only thing they can do with our DNA at this point is test it to see whether it's been altered. Because there is no. Obviously, there can't be any clean strands left.
and
If there ever were, I'm not even sure.
I think that's why it's like there's such a money grab, so to say, on getting people's DNA. Not that they want their DNA, is they want to see how it's changed.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
altered.
I was just reading some of Trish Munoz' comments. She's actually pretty savvy with a lot of what we're talking about. I'm gonna have to read up better on that. But Trish, that actually awesome info that you're sharing there. Thank you. It's crazy how we all delve in different ways and learn different things. And as we share, Candy's falling asleep, and I'm going with her. Just kidding. But I mean, it is crazy. But yeah, I think I don't. There's no way. You're right. There's no way they could test our DNA to see. That would never be accurate. But I wonder if they're not testing to see maybe the percentage rate of the infection level of whatever it is that might be
Exactly.
spreading and
You
spread.
it's like the Lyme test. You know,
The lying test is what I call it.
yeah, but there's supposed to be so many bands on that. And you
Yeah,
have to have so many bands that test positive for Lyme.
yeah.
So, but if your DNA is being altered, and the probability, like say, for instance,
It's
if
slim to none.
somebody commits a murder, and they're trying to compare their DNA to a crime scene. If that person's DNA has been altered, how can they say that that person actually did it based on the DNA? Because nobody's DNA is what they were born with.
No, exactly. Well, and you go back, Adam and Eve, and after that, I mean, it doesn't matter. Like, there's an angel there, devil there. There's a reason you got tainted blood, no matter what. And that goes much deeper than what we all know as well. But
So
we don't get into that. But there is
the big
no way
push
of knowing that.
the DNA through the genealogy,
Genealogy,
and for people committing crimes, and they collect their DNA, and they try to get people to submit their DNA willingly, not because
so many do.
They want to see how it's changed, not what it is.
I was going to say, I don't think they're looking to see pure bloodlines and strands and origination. I think they're looking for the tainted bloodline, is what.
Yeah, or the altered
The altered and tainted, absolutely. So they're not even looking for original. The genealogy is not, it's obsolete at this point. I mean, we might know where we've been with our feet, but as far as bloodlines go, there's been a lot of manipulation going on. If you don't have fingerprints.
If you can have your fingerprints removed, you can have your DNA removed.
Touche. All of these, nothing left. Well, maybe a little, but probably like makes a question mark now. So it's really sad though. Like whenever I have to go also, and then every time I'd have to go through background check or whatever for security, I'll get fingerprinted, right? Man, like they're they're holding my finger down and trying to roll it all over, and I'm just looking at them like, good luck with that. And you know, they do eventually get, well, what they think, I guess, is something. But when I look at it, I'm just like, congratulations, you got a smudge. But and it's not, I don't know that it's all fingers, because you know they usually go with these or these. But they have the worst time trying to retrieve whatever they're retrieving. And like I said, I don't even know that they are retrieving it, because I don't know about you guys, but most people that have Morgellons or just are alive and breathing the air, this is for entertainment purposes only. I want to throw that out there. You're probably going to notice that your personal prints and everything that belongs to you that was original was actually never belonging to you, because it was tainted along with these, and these may not show up anymore. Just saying.
Oh, which brings me to another point. What we were discussing a couple weeks ago about, I have never had a tonsillectomy. I've never had my tonsils removed.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about that.
They are gone. I have plenty of Morgellons friends that say the same thing.
So
they never had tonsils removed. They are gone.
Yeah, I have no uvula anymore. It's not necessarily, the tonsils are actually 2 nodules on each side, but the uvula, the thing that hangs down, right? Yeah. Mine's gone. Yours is gone. I've never had tonsil anything. Tonsillitis, tonsil go away, tonsil come here. I mean, ever. And so you're not the first person that's told me that. I think Sheila Roeder told me that too. And I think another Sheila, maybe it was Sheila. I'm pretty sure Seven told me that the uvula is absent. Like RUNDOFT. It runs off, guys. It's gone. It's not there anymore. I actually encourage all of you to go look in the mirror and see if your uvula or tonsils, because we grew up thinking those were tonsils, and I totally agree with Candy. Tonsils to me, because it was hanging down, and it was like when the cartoons were on and you see that little thing. So, but yeah, Trish, she says her tonsils hers aren't either. Her tonsils are actually gone. She's like, oh my gosh, thank you for saying that. Okay, so the uvula is that little thing that dingles in the back of your throat, which we know as tonsils. That's what we do.
Right? There's 2 of them, 1 on each side, right?
But we have the tonsils here. So are we talking about the little dangly thing, the uvula, or the actual? Because I can't see my tonsils. So.
Okay, actually, it looked like 2 dangly.
Hold on.
BALLSACKS hanging back there.
Let's see. Let's see if we can spell this right. Uvula. Right, uvula is oh yeah, there it is. Okay, so this shows, and it shows the tonsils as well. So hold on, I'm going to put this on. I'm going to do what we did last time. Not through email, so So yeah, the
So
uvula is the dangly thing. The tonsils are the sides of it. So, I mean, yeah, we're totally scientists here. We know what we're saying. Everyone's doing it. Come on, you got to listen to us. No. But I mean, either way, what we're trying to say is it's gone. It's gone, Jorge. It's gone.
it's called Morgellons.
It's literally RUNDOFT. More, what you say, Morgenics. Okay, so here we go. Cellular memory uvula. Here we go. So I'm going to put this on now. And so you guys see this, right? Let me see if I can move this a little bit. No, it's not moving to my liking because it doesn't like me. So it's okay though. That's all right. So
You can see
okay, so we
the
got your soft palate, your uvula, not uvula. Well, that was something else, right? Here's your tonsils that roll around on the sides. So this is what I grew up thinking was tonsils. Oh, this is a tongue? Who knew? I had no clue. That's interesting.
Yeah, but my uvula and my tonsils are gone.
See, I was gonna say I don't recall now at this point having any of these whatsoever. So
yeah, I remember my tonsils hanging back there like that.
Yeah, that's crazy, right? Though,
Yeah.
all of this. Okay, so here's the actual. This guy has two little. They look like goat balls. Sorry, kind of look like what the back of a goat looks like when he walks away.
What's that? BALLSACKS.
Yeah. So I guess you look like balls. Just kidding. No, I'm not really kidding. I actually meant that. Apparently, so he's got a cavity. He's gonna have to go to the dentist. You got Morgellons, don't you? Because if your teeth look like that, you got Morgellons. Okay, hold on a second. Let's see what else we got here. So apparently, it's this guy here. Bless you. We're gonna have to say bless you from now on. When we just cough, it's not sneezing or with us. It's coughing or choking. It's bless you. Oh, that's. They show it like you notice how they're showing all of these herbs along with this. That's what it's called. Uvula images. So apparently, that is a uvula, and this is apparently that's an herb, and this nope. Apparently, our throats look like herb. I'm so.
Hey, do you remember on that movie, The Labyrinth, where the guy was?
Yeah, the labyrinth. Yeah, nothing but a thing.
What was it? A Ugal something he was talking about.
That's how I learned what it was. Are you kidding me? The labyrinth. The Princess Bride, the Labyrinth, the Dark Crystal.
The Ugala or something he was talking about.
And the Goonies.
Part of the maze. Ugala or something in the maze.
Yeah. I'm telling you, that's this. Wait, right, guys? You guys help us out here. What was it called? It was the Ugala.
I'll grab my phone.
I know, right? And I'm very good at this. I'm just like... Okay, I know, Trish, you got to know what we're talking about, right? Maybe not, though. I don't even know what I'm talking about. Okay, so that was the...
Let me see.
You saw Legend? You saw Legend, right? Are we talking about that one?
Nope. I'm talking about the Labyrinth.
Okay, I saw that too, but was there one in Legend? Maybe not. Maybe not. I'm going to put that in. Uvula. I think it was. I remember that specifically. I don't know why I was thinking the labyrinth, though. Yeah, no, that's not what I'm looking for. This? Oh, Hoggle, right?
Yeah, he was the one that was talking about the Ugala.
He was the one that said yeah, I think this is it. Hold on, let's see. I hope this is showing up because I am literally as we go. Okay, so we're looking for. Do you remember the movie The Labyrinth? Hoggle says something about the uvula, right? I don't know why we're on the subject, but figure it out if that's candy. It's contagious. Wow. Yeah, that just happened. Both of us are going right now.
My
I
throat
almost
is
lost
like,
it.
oh, so messed
Mine
up.
too. It's got like, all sorts of nonsense going. Sorry.
What does it take to be a Shenyun dancer?
Maybe somebody's trying to tell us we talk too
It
much.
takes a mind of
It's
steel.
not. Yeah, that's probably it. Here,
And live
skip the ad. See if the shoe's up right.
What's going on?
I just love these movies. I grew up watching all of these. I'm probably gonna get a strike for showing this. I gotta stop it. Look. Educational purposes only. We are allowed to show that. We have the right to freedom of press for educational purposes only. Yeah, right. Right there with you, sunshine. So
Gotta get
honestly,
Morgellons
on
on
that level, though, we probably. I know I need to get off of here. You do too. And she's definitely. I'm gonna be right there, Candy. I'm gonna fly over there with all my wings. Are you all right? I think all of you that have Morgellons knows how this is, and it will just catch you at the most inopportune time. I know Trish knows, and Trish is like she's gone through a lot of what Sheila and I go through with the gang stalking, and probably a lot of you out there, if not all of you, just, maybe some of you haven't figured it out yet, but there are some awful things that take place with Morgellons or just with life right now, because I believe it all interconnects to some respect. There's no doubt in my mind that there is everything that's taking place that seems odd or paranormal level or just straight up screwed up. To me, and nobody's going to change my mind. That this is just small pieces of a huge, ginormous puzzle. I know Trish feels the same way. I've talked to her about it. Sheila knows. I know probably a lot of you, if not all of you, know and are aware of that. There is a world that we're living in that is not what we once knew. Actually, some of us knew it wasn't that world probably the entire time, but there's a few out there that it's changed for tremendously. And I myself has changed even more tremendously, but the world's always been different. Trisha's world's been different from day one. I know Sheila's has, I know Candy's has. But there's something taking place on a people might want to call it supernatural level. Others might want to call it just the season or the change or the time or biblical or spiritual, whatever you want to call it. Doesn't matter what you call it. You can call it poop head for all I know, but and I'm concerned with. But the thing is, there is something taking place, and it's much more than what it was in respect to the level that some of us knew it as at one time, or those that didn't know any of the level. This is drastic. It's changing. There's people waking up worldwide, all around. There's people seeing it. They're becoming aware, familiar. Um, Not really familiar, I guess I should say, but they're understanding that there's a significant change going on in the earth, and it's historical. I believe every 1,200 years, 1,300 years. That's kind of controversial and debatable, depending on who you talk to. But either way, I don't care who you talk to, and if it's that or that, it doesn't matter. Prepare your hearts, prepare your minds, prepare your souls. Doesn't matter what the time frame is. I mean, we already knew from day one when we came here, nothing was, promised. There wasn't like a timestamp saying, okay, you're going to expire here. Oh, December 2nd, that's your expiration date. We knew we came with no promises of waking up the next day or the day after that or any of those days. We knew that we all had not necessarily an expiration, but a limited time in this body, in this surrounding environment on this world, whether it be flat, round, square, SpongeBob, squishy britches. I'm not even sure. Don't know. Never went to space. Haven't looked around. I've been in an airplane, and it does look kind of round. but it looks kind of flat too. I mean, I don't even care. Like all these levels that everyone's debating, like it's flat Earth, it's round Earth, or paranormal, or spiritual, or I don't really care what debate is going on any level. The thing is, it's happening. I don't care what you want to call it. Like I said, call it SpongeBob Squishy Britches for all I care. Poopy head.
I was
It's
like,
happening.
told my doctor, I was like,
So prepare your hearts, prepare your body, mind, and soul. Buckle up, buttercups. It's going to be a bumpy ride, and this is just the beginning. This is not fear mongering. You're warriors, after all. You were born warriors. Don't ever forget that. You can do this. You got this. But buckle up, prepare your hearts, prepare your souls, prepare your minds, and put on that full armor.
well,
I forgot my helmet one day, so just
well,
kidding.
and I mean, think about it. Oh my God, look at my legs and my arms, and I'm like, I never ever thought I would ever see the end of that. And I'm like, oh my God, I mean, I am like here. I still have my legs attached, and I'm like,
Praise God, right?
this one lesion on my arm was big as a damn tennis ball. It covered my entire arm, and it was probably.
I know. From when I met you, I'm just amazed. You look so different and so good, and have faith too. Because there you go. There's living proof right in front of you. Have faith. Don't give up. Whether we approach the end or near the end or we're not, doesn't really matter. Just have faith. Buckle up, but hang on for the ride. And look at her. She looks good for her ride. So,
and you know what? And it's like I told you, it's like, when I lost my ability to cry for 10 years, I could not cry.
Heartbreaking.
And I'm like, I'm down on my knees begging God. I'm like, okay, if you're done with me, just take me now. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, I'm crying for the first time in 10 years. And the next day, I was like, okay, what did all that mean? What did that mean? I couldn't cry for 10 years and now I can cry and I'm begging God to take me. I'm like, oh, hell, he's not done with me. That's what it meant to me.
Exactly
He's
right.
not done with me.
Not done with you yet.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, hell no. Now it's on. So that's when I decided I was going public. I didn't care what anybody said, what my family said, what my children said, what my husband thought. Nobody. I'm like, I'm going public and they were all freaking out. And then when I told them I was going to do the billboard, they're like, oh my God, Mom, you can't do that. I was like, oh yes, I can. Yes, I will.
You can do all things through Christ the Lord who strengthens you. Philippians 4:13. I say it every time. Will not stop saying it because look at her. She went. That girl went. You go, girl. She did it.
Yeah, and I told you, like my daughter, a few weeks ago when she got upset, I was like, oh my God, do you know how hard it was for me to put my face on that billboard? How hard it was for me to put those videos out on Facebook public with fibers pouring out of my damn leg? How hard it was to talk to my doctors and do my booth every damn year after year after year with bloody, crusty lesions all over my body. And I still showed up and I still did it because I chose to live, not because I wanted to die. I never wanted to die. I wanted to live.
No, I've never felt that way, Adley. We all feel like dying. But I mean, we don't have quit in this, and you guys don't have quit in you. So if something tells you feel like dying, just remember that is Satan, like that little freaking creep, the little booger of a feller that he is. He's like, look at me, I'm all that. I'm gonna make her feel like dying. Just remember that's him. He is not worthy of that. He's not worthy of your death. He's not worthy of anything. Like he's not worthy. He literally is a little booger of a thing.
And you know what? Your body is just a temporary vessel in which to store a soul. A body dies, a soul lives forever. So there is nothing they can do to me that's going to take my soul. So you can screw me up and put bloody, crusty lesions all over my body and make me look like a zombie reject. But guess what? I don't care because you will not get my soul.
I'm living anyway. That's right. That is so right. I love the attitude. I love the outlook, and you guys, you have it too. It's all in you. It's all in you. You're warriors. You've never been anything less. We feel like dying some days, but we don't want to die. We don't feel good, and we hurt. Yep, all the time. But we have no quit. Look at us. We're still here. I mean, who else can go through all the turmoil and torture that the outside world gives to us?
Yeah, look
Those
at
above us, we can go through that
my
and
beautiful
still
battle scars. I've got my beautiful battle scars. Looky here. I'm like,
They're beautiful too.
battle scars, it's just, I'm like, I've done been on the front line 1,000 times over.
Amen, sister. That's right. They are battle scars, and they are beautiful ones. And the only reason you're not cut deep is because you had your full armor on the whole time. So keep it on, all of you guys, all of you. And Candy, I'm going to have to wrap it up because
All right.
well, calls. Yeah.
I hope your little neck alien gets better. I'm so sorry you had that.
It's been treacherous. I can't even tell you. You guys would not even believe a word I said, except for the Morgellons people would. What came out of this neck, and we weren't necking at that. It was not pretty. It was alive and
Sigourney Jr.
I had an alien in my neck hole, and it did. It was like a bouncing little baby boy, something like that. But it was alive. Yeah, I mean, I speak the truth, though. I wouldn't ever lead anyone astray. I have no reason to, and I certainly don't like appearing like I'm crazy. Nobody's gonna like right in their right mind go, you know what? I think I'm gonna cool him. I got some weird stuff. I had a big little alien boy come out. He's like, "Hey, mom." I mean, we're not gonna do that. We speak the truth. You see the comments. You see the people on here. We are spilling our guts and our heart out because, well, you're on the channel. That means you either saw something in the sky, on the ground, or something that wasn't right. You never saw before, so you ended up here. So when we're telling you Morgellons is real, Morgellons is real, and probably the most realest thing you will ever know. And it's so real that you're here, and thank you for being here, because now please help us educate the world, because they need that. This is for entertainment purposes only. But
It'll be funny like that.
I've already been pulled off those. I got to be careful what I say. Lord knows, you guys know. So. All right, girly. So we're gonna do a chop cut.
Yeah, I'm exhausted.
I can tell. I am too, and I gotta go back to work. So, woohoo, go me! And I hope you get rested. And I am so proud to call you my friend and the warrior friend that you are. And thank you for being here again. And thank you for setting examples like you do every day. And oh yeah, I love all of you too.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Love you guys. Bye bye.
I'm late.